How could someone be so consumed by jealousy that they would take another person's life? What drives a person to turn their anger and heartbreak into an act of unimaginable violence? And how can love, something meant to bring joy, become the catalyst for such a devastating act? These are the haunting questions that linger in the wake of the murder of 23-year-old Kayla Hodgson, a young woman full of promise, whose life was cut short in an act of jealousy, rage, and betrayal. Welcome to True Crime Files Edition, where we delve into the most gripping and heartbreaking cases. In today's episode, we explore the tragic story of Kayla Hodgson, a flight attendant and beloved waitress whose life was taken in a shocking act of violence fueled by jealousy. This is a story of betrayal, misplaced rage, and a deadly love triangle with devastating consequences. Kayla Hodgson was well known in Broward County for her infectious personality and radiant smile. Balancing her demanding schedule as a flight attendant with her job at high-end venues, she was admired for her work ethic and charm. Friends and family describe her as a warm-hearted soul who could light up any room. One friend said, "She was kind and had a way of making everyone feel special." The news of her brutal murder sent shockwaves through her close-knit community. Her friends, many of whom worked similar jobs, expressed fear and disbelief. "The thought that the killer could have been someone we served sends chills down our spines," one coworker admitted. Sakina Thompson, a 28-year-old woman from Long Island, New York, projected a bold and glamorous persona on social media. A nail technician by trade, she showcased her intricate designs online, alongside snapshots of her life filled with luxury and indulgence. Her posts often featured her boyfriend, Terry Thurmagen, and documented their seemingly affectionate moments. However, beneath the curated images of birthday surprises and cozy dates, a darker reality emerged. Described as a feisty and strong-willed woman, Sakina's fiery personality sometimes surfaced in her social media posts.
"You know that I throw hands, right? You know that I throw hands, right?
I still got one. I'ma smack the wig off, and then I'ma change."
Her relationship with Terry was far from picture perfect. Those who followed her online noticed that the couple's dynamic was turbulent, marked by frequent breakups and reconciliations. Their on and off romance painted a picture of emotional highs and lows that often spilled into the public eye. Little did anyone suspect how deadly the fallout from their volatile relationship would become. The tension between Sakina and Kayla stemmed from their romantic involvement with the same man, Terry. According to investigators, Sakina discovered Terry's infidelity through phone tracking and learned of his secret visits to Kayla in Florida. Fueled by jealousy, Sakina allegedly traveled to Florida with Terry on July 13, 2022. What Terry didn't realize was that Sakina was tracking his every move. When she discovered Kayla's address, she confronted her rival. The situation escalated quickly, ending with Sakina fatally slashing Kayla's throat in a fit of rage. Disturbingly, after the attack, Sakina is believed to have showered and changed her clothes at Kayla's apartment before fleeing back to New York. Kayla's lifeless body was discovered in her apartment around 3 p.m. that day. Neighbors were horrified by the gruesome crime, and whispers of speculation rippled through the community. The police arrived promptly and spent hours processing the crime scene. Broward County Crime Stoppers offered a $5,000 reward for information, and tips soon began pouring in.
Murder mystery at Tamarack apartment complex turns into a crime scene after a young woman's body was found inside. Family and friends gathering throughout the day had word of her untimely passing.
Local 10's Janine Stanwood is live from the scene with what she's learned. Janine.
There are still so many questions about what happened to this young woman. Initial reports, which you're about to hear, are disturbing. And right now you can see deputies and law enforcement are still here as loved ones gather to say goodbye.
All units need to stand by where they are.
Into the night, an investigation into how a young woman died inside her apartment in Tamarack. Family tells us she is 23-year-old Kayla Hodgson, and loved ones say she hasn't been living here in the Tamarack Village apartments for very long. According to the Broward Sheriff's Office, it was around 3 p.m. when they got the call about an unresponsive woman.
The caller said that there's a gash on the patient's neck. It looks like someone slashed her neck.
When deputies and fire rescue arrived, they determined she was dead. Throughout the day, distraught friends and relatives showed up on scene, many telling us they were too upset to speak on camera. Crime scene investigators taking photos of this white SUV before it was towed away. And a forensics truck has been here most of the day. The sheriff's office being tight-lipped about how this young woman died and who could be responsible.
Investigators were able to piece together a timeline, eventually securing an arrest warrant for Sakina on Monday, July 25, 2022. Detectives alleged that Sakina had shown complete disregard for human life and carried out the crime with the intention to kill. On Wednesday, August 3, 2022, officers from the New York Police Department located and arrested Sakina in Springfield Gardens, New York. She was initially held at the Rose M. Singer Center on Rikers Island, according to the New York City Department of Corrections. Shortly after, she was extradited to the Paul Rain Detention Facility in Broward County, Florida, to face a charge of first-degree murder. While in custody, Sakina revealed she was pregnant and wrote a heartfelt letter to the judge, pleading for release so she could give birth outside of jail. The letter read, "To your Honorable Judge Casey, I am writing this letter to you in hopes of finding mercy from the court to allow me to give birth outside of jail while also fighting my case. Please have sympathy for me, being that I am a first-time mother and have no priors, never been in trouble before. I am terrified of going into labor while incarcerated because this facility is not properly suitable to accommodate a pregnant woman. I have been incarcerated since August 3, 2022, when I was 11 weeks and due February 17, 2023. Spending my entire pregnancy locked up has been stressful. I have a stable place as well as family to vouch for me. I am asking you for the opportunity to mother my newborn baby while I fight for my innocence. Please take everything that I have said into consideration while making a decision on whether I may be released on bond, pretrial monitoring, etc. Thank you for your time and consideration on this matter." Despite her plea, the court denied her request, and she remained incarcerated throughout her pregnancy. On February 17, 2023, Sakina gave birth to her daughter while still in custody. Nearly 3 weeks later, on March 7, 2023, the judge granted permission for Terry to pick up breast milk from the Paul Rain Detention Facility. This rare accommodation highlighted the unusual and complicated circumstances surrounding the case. As the legal proceedings continued, another complication arose. On August 4, 2023, Sakina's attorney filed a motion to withdraw as her legal representative, citing irreconcilable differences with the defendant. The attorney suggested that she hire another lawyer or seek assistance from a public defender to avoid delays in her case. Sakina's anger should have been directed at Terry. Yet, as is so often the case in situations of infidelity, the person outside the relationship becomes the target of misplaced rage. People often lash out at the individual who has no commitment to them, rather than confronting the partner who has broken the trust of the relationship. Perhaps it's easier to see the outsider as a threat or a rival than to grapple with the deeper betrayal from someone they love and rely on. Ironically, Sakina's jealousy and fear of losing Terry to another woman led her to commit a crime that has now cost her everything. While she sits behind bars, Terry is free to see as many women as he wants. And there's nothing she can do about it. The very control she desperately tried to cling to has now completely slipped away. Tragically, Sakina's actions have left her own daughter to grow up without a mother and Kayla's family to grieve a life stolen far too soon. This senseless act of violence serves as a devastating reminder of how misplaced anger can destroy not only the lives directly involved, but also ripple through countless others, leaving pain and heartbreak in its wake. Kayla Hodgson was more than a victim. She was a daughter, sister, and friend who left an indelible mark on those who knew her. Her story reminds us of the fragility of life and the destructive power of jealousy. As her loved ones fight to keep her memory alive, one thing is clear: Kayla will never be forgotten. Our deepest condolences go out to Kayla Hodgson's family, friends, and loved ones. May they find strength and solace in the memories of her radiant smile, kind heart, and the joy she brought to everyone around her. The pain of losing someone so full of life is immeasurable, and our hearts are with those grieving this senseless tragedy. What are your thoughts on this case? Do you believe the judge should have granted Sakina's request to be released to have her baby outside of jail? How do you feel about the way people often misplace anger in love triangles, targeting those who owe them nothing instead of addressing the real betrayal? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for joining us on True Crime Files Edition. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more gripping and emotional cases. Stay safe, look after one another, and we'll see you in the next episode.